I'm excited to introduce our speaker today. I've long been fascinated by the food truck industry, and you may have seen on Channel 10 last night, they did a kind of a segment on food trucks in Lincoln and how difficult it is navigating some of the city of Lincoln's regulations in that regard. And maybe Nick will touch on that today. But I'm really excited to introduce Nick Maestas with Muchachos Food Truck. They were parked a couple blocks away on Monday?
Last Wednesday.
Last Wednesday. I'm getting old. Forgive me. Anyway, I walked over. I wanted to check him out, and there was a line, which I wasn't too surprised to see. And the food was incredible. I had smoked brisket nachos, which I understand are on the menu today.
Yes, sir.
And they were incredible. And the other thing, I sat nearby and ate my lunch, and I noticed a couple things. Nick seemed to know about half the people that walked up to the truck. And the other thing I noticed that there were cars pulling up. It was obvious to me that there were a lot of people that lived somewhere else in Lincoln, and they drove to the location because they knew he was going to be there that day. So it showed me he's got a loyal following. So anyway, just a reminder, he's going to be set up outside right in front here. The truck's already sitting out there and going to be serving from about 11 to 1 today. So I'd urge you to stick around and have lunch at one of the best food trucks in Lincoln. And with that, I'll let Nick take it away.
Sure.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. Again, my name is Nick Maestas, local food truck owner. This is my third year in business here. Recently just went full-time, so have been in IT for 15 years and finally decided to take the leap. So definitely a lot of coffee, a lot of anti-anxiety meds, and just yeah, it's been a chore. So this is our third or fourth month, I think, when we've just decided to take it full-time, and it's been quite the journey. So but I guess to go back a couple years, I guess how we got started, Dad left when I was super young. My grandparents raised me up until my mom figured her stuff out, and I was just super close with him, and lost him about 7 years ago, and that was tough. I mean, got into a super, super dark place where drinking way more than I probably should, and not being the dad I needed to be, not being the husband I needed to be. It's just super, super dark place. And I didn't know how to break out of it. I really had no clue what to do. I started cooking one day, making dinner, and made what they made. I'm like, man, I really am missing that. My mom is a couple hours away, and she never quite figured it out as much as I would have liked her to. Her enchiladas don't touch my grandparents, but so I thought I'd give it a shot, and it came out surprisingly well. And that day I was listening to Johnny Cash. I mean, he loved Johnny Cash, and I cranked up that music, and I was making tortillas by hand with the roller that he made me, and man, it felt good. It felt like home, and got to thinking, man, I probably need to bust out of this slump and figure out a healthy way to honor him, because I wasn't doing that at all. And decided to, I was watching, diners, drive-ins, and dives, every other, so much Guy Fieri. And then, so I just kept kind of messing around with things and playing with different recipes and whatnot, and watched the movie Chef. I don't know if anyone else in here has seen it, but it's probably the question I get asked the most. Have you seen the movie Chef? Yes, I have, many times, and that was kind of the kicker for me. That was kind of the thing that said, okay, I can do this. I want to give this a shot. And so we made we made a full menu of what my grandparents made, and we tried it out at Fire Spring, and had a bunch of my friends and family there, and I wanted honest reviews. I didn't ask for a dime from anybody. I just said, hey, the food is on me. Let me know what you think. And it came back, and it wasn't great. Everyone said it was good. I made like ground beef enchiladas with red chili, the way my grandparents did it. someone I remember called it a Mexican runza. And while that was good, it wasn't definitely not what I was searching for. Definitely not me. So I love smoking meat. I love barbecue. I love the smell of it and the time and the effort that it takes. And then to see the result at the end of it was, I really, really loved it. So I got to thinking, what if I take slow smoked barbecue and put it in a taco or an enchilada or a tostada? Well, let's give this a try. And so we made a bunch of pulled pork, bought a bunch of tortillas, and we sold them at a garage sale in Eagle, where I live. And we ended up selling about 200 tacos that day. And I'm like, okay, holy shit, I think this is a thing. I think we can give this a try. And once we did that, we're like, okay, this is the route we need to go. Experimented a bunch with different stuff. Eventually ended up adding brisket and chicken, and then tostadas, and started looking for a truck. Found it on Facebook, which was just an awful idea. But it was, in all honesty, it was the color of my grandparents' house. So when you go outside and you look at the truck, I found that beauty on Facebook, and we've put a lot of work and effort into making it. I broke down about 4 hours away from St. Louis, where I got it. It was only an hour and a half drive, but it took me 4 hours to get there, and broke down. Had to tow it back to Lincoln, and but we've got it working now. But yeah, when you go out, it's the same color as my grandparents' house, and I knew I had to just pull the trigger. So that was about 2.5 years ago. We had our first event at Love the Locals at the Bay, where the health inspector shut us down because the battery that fed my water pump died. And, just one of those things that you learn along the way. I have yet to have that happen again. But that's kind of how we got our start. And then Community Development Resources helped us out with a loan to kind of get everything up and running, and definitely appreciative of them and all the work that they've done to help us get up and running. And that's kind of how we got started, I guess. Since then, we've really toned down our menu. We've got it figured out. I have my first employee on payroll. I had to set up payroll, which is I'm not that at all. I know how to cook some barbecue and that, but outside of that, I'm not made for business side of things. But yeah, I've got that figured out. You'll see her in the window. Her name's Sawyer. She's pretty awesome. But that's kind of where we are now. As far as the business side goes and things that I've learned along the way, I would say that, at first I thought it was going to be the super fun gig where I'm, just selling tacos out of a food truck, and, everything else will fall into place, and that's definitely not the case at all. I've learned that I've had to be an accountant, I've had to be a mechanic, a chef, social media management, marketing, all this stuff that I have no freaking clue what I'm doing. I've learned a lot along the way, and I love it, every second of it, but I've learned that I also can't do it all on my own. Right now, it's just me, and my sister will help me out in the window, but I've learned that, if I want to grow this thing right, I'm going to have to expand. I'm going to have to get people that know what the hell they're doing involved to help this grow and grow right. You see a lot of businesses fail because they try to jump and be too much too quick, to be more than just, I love the ambition. I love that, people have those dreams, but I also want to do it right. I want to take it as slow as it needs to go. I'll make that work, just because I want this to last. I want people to see Muchachos and think, man, that's a place I want to go, and I want to go because they do it right. One thing I didn't touch on, sorry, I'm sweating because I'm nervous and I've had 4 cups of coffee. One thing I didn't touch on is, so the family legacy that my family has in New Mexico, they own a chain of Mexican restaurants in Las Vegas, New Mexico. And one thing that they do every Thanksgiving is they open their doors to anybody. They make a big Thanksgiving dinner. no questions asked. If you need the meal, if you don't need the meal, if you want to just sit with people, if you're alone. And that's kind of what I want to do. My grandparents, they gave up everything. They had to work hard for their family. They love serving people, and that's kind of instilled in me. I've been in customer service all my life, my adult life, whether that's in IT or growing up in a small town helping out. My mom ran the donut shop and learned a lot from her then. But customer service and serving people is what really drives me every day. Making my grandparents proud and making sure that people, when they spend their money that they've earned, they've busted their butt, and they're spending it in my truck, I want to make sure they have a good experience. So not only that, I want to serve people, not only out of my truck, but I want to be, I want my business to be philanthropic. I want it to leave a legacy on the community, not just a positive one when they go to the truck, but I want them to look at us and say, they're doing right by the people, by their neighbors in the community. So, we, just not to toot my horn or anything, but we took our truck when the floods happened, and we served multiple first responders. We went up to Fremont and fed people that were literally living out of their cars. They had no place to go because their house was flooded. When the Kearney floods happened, we went out and just served people, no questions asked. We just want you to have a good meal. And it's humbling, and it's so humbling. Now that this is the only thing I do, yes, I strive more to make sure that my family is taken care of. But at the same time, I just can't sit back and watch people suffer and not try to do something about it. So recently just had a friend whose wife took her life a couple weeks ago now. And one thing we're going to do is we're going to have a big fundraiser in the rail yard. We're going to donate 100% of those proceeds to suicide awareness. It's stuff like that I want us to be known for. Not just making tacos. Anybody can make a freaking taco, right?
I can.
We'll try sometime, okay? Anybody can do stuff like that, but I want to make sure that we're leaving a legacy of positivity, of deliciousness, and of customer service. So to get onto a more happy note, I guess. Well, it's not happy, but you had touched on, you watched on the news last night, the regulations in Lincoln, kind of how tough it is to get out and about. It has definitely been a challenge. Right now, we can only park our truck on private property, or if there's an event going on and it's been permitted through the city. It's definitely a struggle. But it's also given us the ability to make relationships with other private businesses in town. So, most frequently we're parking at breweries. That most of this is beer now. I've gained a lot of weight because of all the free beer we get. So we serve people, when we pull up to Code or White Elm or Zipline, we serve their staff. They give us beer. It's a great relationship. But
Can I come work for you?
Yeah, for sure. Sawyer, who you'll find in the window, is only 20, and she's super bummed about this. But yeah, it's a fun thing, but it's definitely one of the bigger struggles. So we have to rely on festivals. We have to rely on private businesses like this place that will allow us to park in their private lot.
So you can come back every week now, right?
Absolutely. Well, this is week 2 that we've been over here now, so yeah.
All right, every Thursday.
Right. But yeah, so that'll be the struggle for me this winter because I am full-time doing this now. How can I continue this through the winter? I can cater, I can do things like that, but definitely trying to find a way to maximize profit in the community while also being limited on where we can park. So, yeah, and I guess just to wrap up, I love this. I love this life. I love working for me, and it's been it's been such a joy. I miss IT. I miss being around people. I love fixing little things for people. I don't miss my mouse doesn't work. My keyboard doesn't work. I don't miss that at all. But I definitely miss working with people every day in an environment where that is. But at the same time, I'm with my kids so much more. I'm around them a lot. We play a lot of video games. But overall, it's been a great experience, and I just am thankful for the opportunity to grow this thing. So.
Great.
Yeah.
Questions?
Yeah,
I was curious if you talked to churches and other private locations in town that serve the people.
Yeah, we do. In fact, we were just at a church last week. They do their back to school bashes and whatnot. And yeah, we were just at Christ Lincoln, I think, last Sunday, 2 Sundays ago. I don't know days of the week anymore.
Work days.
Right,
They're
exactly.
every day.
So they reach out and we'll do that. I think the tough part is making sure burnout doesn't happen. You go to the same place frequently, you're going to see a lot less people come out.
Every other Thursday here.
Right, there you go. So for example, we park up at Innovation Campus every Tuesday. And the first week it was amazing. Like we sold like $1,000 in an hour. Just a great turnout. Ever since then, we've probably averaged $350, and I smoke my meat for 12 to 14 hours every time. I mean, it's not just, everyone thinks in the taco truck you roll up and people just start throwing money at you like crazy, and that's not at all how it is in real life. I mean, that's why Chef, while I love the movie, totally unrealistic, because you can't just pull up and start making money. We tried doing burgers, like hatch green chili cheeseburgers topped with pulled pork and sweet and spicy slaw. And it was great, but, still just trying to find a way to work around that burnout is tough. Yeah?
Are you going to be at Flannel Fest at the Bay in October?
They have not reached out to us.
Well, should because they're going to have food trucks.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'll check.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
What kind of helped you make that decision to go full-time? That's always a big struggle for
Yeah.
business.
The numbers are kind of what dictated that. We were getting events, and I was turning away people. I tried to just do nights and weekends, which, didn't really allow me to see my kids much at all. But then we were getting, requests for, 6 to 7 days a week. And, looking at the financials of everything, we decided that if we could average X number of dollars per week, that we could make that work. And we've definitely exceeded that. And we haven't looked back. Yeah. Yeah.
Where do you cook out of? Do you have a commercial kitchen?
That's a great question. I do not. So my truck is designated as a commercial kitchen. So, I have my smoker at home, and then I throw the meat, once it's done in a Cambro, it goes straight in the truck. And then everything else I do is right in the truck. I did meet with the Green Flash Brewing people on Monday, because they just closed their kitchen a couple weeks ago. So looking at possibly renting that out and then expanding, getting a second truck and moving into Omaha too. Yeah. Yeah.
How'd you come up with the name Muchachos?
That's my favorite question. So my grandfather, whenever he would, people tell me this, I don't know, maybe he was lying to me, I don't know. But whenever I'd call him, he would always answer the phone, "Yo, muchacho." And he always just did that for me. Like, I had asked my sister, "Hey, when you call, does he say this?" She said no. So whenever I called him, he would answer, "Yo, muchacho," and so that's the legal name of my business is Yo Muchacho LLC, and then so Muchachos is kind of came from that.
It's also his Twitter handle, so follow him on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah,
he does a good job of it.
It's fun. Did you have a question?
Yeah. What day is the suicide awareness at the rail yard?
We're still working on that.
Be on Twitter?
Yeah, so I've just made a great connection with people in the rail yard. Herdat, I think, owns or has the designation or kind of has the rights to the rail yard now. And then we met up with some people with the Kicks 96, is that the radio station? And I think they work a lot in the rail yard as well. So I think October is Suicide Awareness Month, or is it September? One of the, yeah. And so we're hoping to get it done relatively soon. But we want to make it big. I think we want to make it, because, I could sell, out of my truck. I can, I've served 400 people out of my truck in 4 hours before. I would love to make that happen again for this. I don't want to hand over a check for, every little thing helps. I don't want to make it sound like it doesn't matter. But I want to maximize that. I want to make it so that way we make a huge impact.
Yeah.
And get multiple trucks involved. And I think that's one thing that, I don't know if people think this or not, but food trucks want to work together to grow the community. We're not fighting against each other, and sometimes we get a little angry at each other if they take our spot or whatever. But I love all my friends in the food truck community, and we're going to try to make it big and get as many businesses involved as we can.
Great.
Yeah.
What's the easiest way to know where you are?
Right now it's Facebook. We post a weekly schedule on Mondays. So I try to take Sundays and Mondays off to be a family. During the summer, I say yes to more things than I probably should, and usually work one of those 2 days. But Facebook and then yomuchacho.com, I have literally the calendar that I maintain on my phone is what you'll see on my website. Yeah.
You said you serve that many people in 4 hours.
Uh-huh.
How do you do that with just 2 people? Are you able to keep up, or do you have backup people, or how?
Yeah, so I do have a few people that I can call on, and for big events like that, I'll try to get 2 or 3 people in the truck. But that's one thing I do pride myself on is a lot of food trucks that you'll go to, you'll have wait times.
Super long line.
Yep.
Is what I've experienced.
Yeah, and while we may have a line, you'll find that our line moves pretty quick.
Yeah.
All of our food is prepared. We just literally put it together and get it out the window. So we were at Emeritus a few months ago. We fed 230 people in 90 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think an average ticket time of 23 seconds per person.
Wow.
So, that's the one thing, you don't want people standing in line. You have a half-hour lunch break. The last thing you want to do is hurry up and get back to work after you've waited in line all day. So that's one thing we definitely pride ourselves on is our, low wait times. Yeah.
So rumor has it that food inspectors kind of like to pick on guys with the trucks. Have you found that?
Not at all. Yeah, I think you make a good relationship with the health inspectors, and they'll respect you as much as you respect them. They're just doing their job. I don't want to ever put anybody in a place where they got sick because of something I screwed up. So if that means getting, visited more often, then, bring it on. I know that I'll pass it. So, yeah. Oh man, so we did this really cool thing a couple weeks ago. Lincoln Industries out on Capitol Parkway. We fed all 3 of their shifts. So 3rd shift starting at midnight until 3 a.m., lunch from 11 to 1, and then dinner from 7 to 8:30. All day long. It was, oh man, it took a while to recover from that one. But to see how happy they were for that, it was pretty great. But after the lunch shift, our 11 to 1, I didn't close the door to my Cambro properly, and I had a full pan of chicken in there. And I get out, I feel it immediately, something's not right. Could I have served it? And it would have been okay? Probably. But I know that, I wouldn't want to eat that if, it wasn't a temp and there was a chance that someone could get sick. So while it sucks, you never want to put someone in a place where they could get sick because of something you did. So bring it on. Come inspect me as much as you want. I feel like we can be just as good, if not better, than a brick and mortar, just because of that reason, where they do come out maybe a little more frequently. But yeah. Any other questions?
Let's eat.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. As a thank you for being here today, we want to present you
All
with a
right.
Focus Sweet mug.
Yes.
And you can put beer in there if you want.
You have one?
No, I
Okay.
don't. This is a college, unfortunately,
Oh,
so
sure,
you know, we
sure.
got rules.
I
but
hear you.
Anyway, thank you so much for
Thank you.
being here. We loved hearing your story. For those, if you know people that couldn't be here today and they were disappointed by that, send them to our YouTube channel. The video will be out there this afternoon. And Nick's going to be ready to serve when?
I'd say give me 11:15. Be ready to go.
Okay.
We've got
11:15.
brisket and pulled pork tacos and nachos today.
You've got to try them, folks. They are delicious. I'm telling you. I know I'm going out there. But with that, we'll let you get going.
Sounds good.
And please hang around, meet somebody new that you haven't met before. You can hang around in this space until he starts serving. And please feel free to hang around here for lunch, call your friends, have them meet you here. After you get served outside, you can also come inside if you want. We've got tables set up there with chairs, and you could eat your lunch there, or there's benches outside you can sit on too. So hope you'll stick around and enjoy it. Nick,
Cool.
thanks a lot.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet.